If you what? What's up, friends, and welcome to today's video. I wanted to make a quick video here going over how to create your own meal plan. If you're someone that maybe you're not that familiar with meal plans, or you want to try it out, or maybe you're used to tracking your macros or whatever, but you'd rather switch over to a set plan just for a week or so. Whatever the circumstances, I am here to make this easier for you. So let's just get started. Okay, so my number one tip is when you're creating a meal plan, start with your protein source. You need to base your meals around the protein source. Protein is super, super important to not only maintain your muscle, like your muscle requires an adequate amount of protein to just exist, okay? And that's a topic for another day, but the existence of muscle in your body is helpful in burning more calories because the more muscle you have, the higher your metabolism will be. So you want to make sure it stays around, you want to be able to keep your metabolism high and burn those calories. So the best way to do that is make sure you are taking in enough protein. I recommend 1 gram per pound of body weight. If you are, again, this is a topic for another day, but it varies. If you're very, very lean, you might want more than 1 gram, maybe up to like 1.2 grams per pound of body weight. And if you are overweight, if you're carrying a lot of body fat, you're not going to need as much, maybe 0.8. So that 0.8 to 1.2 range is where you should be shooting for. Again, it varies by person, and that's something that you have to customize for yourself. So yeah, protein is important. Start out by planning each meal around protein. Now, some of my favorite protein sources are going to be eggs, egg whites, Greek yogurt, ground turkey, ground beef, chicken. Those are my main protein sources. Edamame has a little bit of protein, some other kinds of beans and stuff, but when I say center your meal around protein, I mean solely a protein source. Some foods are going to overlap. Some foods have fats and carbs, some have carbs and protein, some have a different mixture, whatever. But what I'm saying is you're going to want to start with something that is pretty protein heavy. Tip number 2, base these meals on what you like. Okay, don't just do chicken and rice and broccoli because it's bro, or because it's like what you've seen people do and like that just must be it. That just must be how it works. No, that's not true at all. If you don't like chicken and rice, don't eat it. I didn't eat chicken for a long time because I got so tired of it. Like, I still have to find different ways to cook chicken. Like, if it's on the stovetop, I don't want it. I don't like it because it's dry and it's flavorless. So I usually bake my chicken or put it in the crock pot, or I will buy chicken that's already marinated with something. You have to switch it up, essentially. But again, base these meals on what you like. I genuinely enjoy Greek yogurt and 99% fat-free ground turkey. Like, those are my 2 staples. I eat them all the time, and I eat them multiple times a day, sometimes. So it just depends on your preference for foods. Don't force yourself to eat something that you don't like because you think it's bro or clean or it works. Like, if you don't like something, you're not going to stick to it. And the whole point of this is to get you to stick to a routine. So that's tip number 2, base your meals on what you like. And then the last tip that I have is find a meal schedule that fits your schedule. It's like work or school or whatever you may be doing. I personally eat about 6 times a day because that's how I like it. Okay, I get hungry every few hours. I want to eat every few hours. So I know that for that to work, usually when I'm in school, I have morning class, maybe an afternoon class. So I know that I'm going to eat breakfast, I'm going to go to school, and I need to have meal number 2, which is like a morning snack, and meal number 3, which is lunch, packed for sure. So on Sundays when I meal prep, I make sure that I have meals 2 and 3 prepped. That's obviously going to vary depending on the person and on your schedule, but again, this goes back to you need to find something that works for you, or else you're not going to follow it. You know what I'm saying? So if you think that eating 6 times a day sounds ridiculous and that's just so bro and so bodybuilder, don't do it. If you like 3 big meals a day, do 3 big meals a day. Like, I just can't do that because 1, the meals are too big, and 2, I don't like to wait that long to eat. Like, once I'm hungry, I have to eat. So I don't do big meals like that. And I never thought I would be the person to say, like, yes, 6 small meals a day, major key. Like, I never thought I would do that, but I just like slowly got into that routine because I found that's what I liked, and right now that's where I'm at. Will it change someday? Maybe, but for now that's what works for me, and I have stuck to it for, oh my gosh, almost a year now, because a year ago right now I was starting prep. So that's what I've been doing for the last year, and it works for me. So it usually works out to, when I say meals, some of them could be considered snacks, but so basically I'll have meal 1 is breakfast, meal 2 is a morning snack, meal 3 is lunch, meal 4 is afternoon snack, and this is usually pre or post workout around that time. Meal 5 is dinner, meal 6 is nighttime snack. So you can vary the sizes of your meals to make it work for you, obviously. And then again, I know I keep saying it, but it really is true. The amount of food that you are taking in depends on you. Like, I can't sit here and tell you my macros and tell you that they're gonna work for you, because they're probably not, okay? So hire a coach or do your research. I coached myself for a couple years. I went through a couple cutting phases, a couple bulking phases, and I figured out how to manipulate macros. But even then, on the weekends, I just kind of did whatever I wanted, and it definitely held me back from where I wanted to be. So once I hired my coach, I found myself 1000% more accountable, not only because it was prep, but because, you know, I have to report to someone. So on the weekends, I stopped being an asshole, and I've definitely like gotten into the routine of sticking to my macros and being spot on with everything, just because like I'm accountable and it's what I like now. Like, I've officially transported like into the lifestyle side of things. It used to be like, damn it, I have to meet these numbers or whatever, but now I like live for it. Like, that's what I love. So bottom line, if you're gonna do this thing, make sure it works for you, and you might have to try things out, you know, and change things up every week or so. But I promise you, consistency is key, and the results will come if you stick to something. And in order for you to stick to something, it needs to work for you. So with that being said, if you are looking for someone to help you customize your nutrition or find your macros, even just an initial consult, I would love to work together. I'll have my website in the description box, and you can contact me via my website. So I hope that these 3 brief tips helped you out. Meal plans can be awesome, okay? You just gotta try things and figure out if they are for you or not for you, and I really encourage you to try these out if you're thinking about starting your own meal plan. So yeah, I think that's all I got for now. If you watched until now, as always, I appreciate you. If you could give the video a thumbs up and subscribe before you leave, that would be dope, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye!
Take a look past the innocence.